XD tools offer the possibility to perform operations on ontology design patterns. The tool provides a perspective, Xstream Design, that groups all the user components, the ODP registry browser and ODP details view, as well as the XD selector. Other components can be activated in several ways within the interface. For example, the XD specialization wizard, the XD analyzer, and the XD annotation dialog. With the ODP registry, we can have access to a set of reusable OWL patterns that can be directly browsed and exploited in the modeling process. We can read the pattern description in the ODP details view and choose the pattern to reuse, such as by cloning it in our local project. Then we can import the pattern into our ontology for future use. As we frequently need to cover requirements expressed as competency questions, the effort of browsing the annotation can be quite time-consuming. So we can query the XD selector by providing simple keywords or a complete competency question, like this one. What entities are in the set of a certain situation? The XD selector has been developed as an extensible system that permits the plug-in of multiple selection services. The indexing service requires a remote keyword-based index of ODPs, while latent indexing returns results indirectly related to the query. Latent indexing displays the pattern situation as its first result. By selecting it, the ODP details view displays the annotations of the pattern. The Xstream Design methods identify several options for the reuse of ODPs. And specialization is the primary step for reusing and integrating content patterns. The specialization wizard guides the user through the following steps. The first step is to define the specialization input and output using one of the three modalities provided. We can create a separate ontology module and import it in the working ontology. We can create a separate ontology module and simply store it in the working project. Or we can insert the result as locally defined statements in the working ontology, importing the pattern. In this example, we'll create the aquatic resource observation ontology pattern as a specialization of the situation. In the second step, we decide which entities of the pattern we need to specialize. As an initial solution, only bottom-level entities, the most specific classes and properties, are displayed by default. We can expand the tree to see all available entities. Note that inverse properties must be specialized as a couple. By selecting an entity, a tooltip reveals the available annotations. Next, we create the new entities. In this step, a set of specialized entities is defined according to our local use case by reusing the generic solution. The new entity dialog requires that we add labels and comments. Additionally, inverse properties must be specialized as a couple. Labels are suggested automatically. Then some additional statements are presented to the user. For example, the user can state disjointness between the newly created entities and domain range relations for properties. Having selected the appropriate statements, we can overview the operation and execute it. Since all patterns must be fully annotated, we should now do this with our newly created pattern via the XD annotation dialog. Several annotation properties are provided by this dialog. The specialization of annotation property has been automatically added by the tool. Let's now annotate an OWL pattern with the following competency question. What is the exploitation state observed in a given climatic zone for a certain resource? Our pattern is now ready, and we are ready to release the new ontology module. With the XD Analyzer tool, we can check if the best practices of extreme design have been observed. The XD Analyzer embeds a set of algorithms for checking several aspects of the ontology. For example, missing labels and comments, unused imported ontologies, and isolated entities. Here we can see that our own ontology is missing labels and comments. In this way, we can easily manage our final cleanup prior to sharing our patterns with the ODP community at the Ontology Design Patterns portal.